Yeah, I mean, no traditional hunter here for the Titans, and clearly this is something they're comfortable doing. With the set ADC has been a huge part of Cyclone's repertoire as of late, but I think there's a big difference between someone like Baka, who I'd assume to be the ADC.
Agreed.
With this comp, and Set. The gap close is not even close. Set's is so much better, and I think that's a huge part of what makes him successful. Baka can, I mean, it's a chin-sized god at the very least, so theoretically he could chase down and kill this Cthulhu.
It's going to change the face of the game.
The good news is Aphrodite inherently makes someone hard to kill.
Locked in place, knocked up by Aurora and left alone. Awesome Jake. The med is pulsing on out. That'll give him some heals. You got to get this kill at some point on the back end. The get back
can follow through with if your team is capable.
Lasbra blinks in onto Layers. Does have Bat Out of Hell. That's important to look at here. So if you think it might be an overcommit from Lasbra, he has a get out of jail free carbon. How about this? Everything onto Aurora. And Awesome Jake right on cue will throw up. Benji knows Laz is on this side of the map. Benji also has ultimate, does not have leap anymore. Sentinel of Zeus used. But this not all that hidden by the Olympus Bolt score. Benji's just gonna get chased down here, and it looks like Haddix will notch his first kill of the game.
It's 2 ults dropped, but you get the kill. That's always going to feel worth, because now he's going to take less damage, and he should be able to survive something like this.
Right, less damage, but there's still a lot of it.
Never mind.
Is making his way on over to the solo lane. An early damage item. You get some help from your jungler after the fact. Nice double knockup from Aurora in the mid lane.
What a wall.
And a good wall from Jake, but has it kept Aurora right where he wants to be? Layers teleports right back into the fight. Awesome Jake whittled away. Undying Love is there as well, and Paul with the burns will get the last bit of damage. Lasbra swoops on through, returns the favor on the Layers. Venenu's transformed into the Nike here. Important to differentiate between those two as the Titans roll forward and get a couple.
That is such a great wall turned disastrous for the Bulls. I mean, it is a great block for a retreat. If your team is engaging on that, that feels great. The fact that the Titans not only turned around, but confidently, I mean, they swarmed the Bolts from that moment. Really been presenting. I also think it should be fun, you know, when you look at this, not having a Hunter tends to limit some things, you know, from range is really the big changer, right?
Wow.
You have an assassin here, you should be able to burn Gold Furies, you should be able to burn towers.
Jake will not steal away the Gold Fury. It goes quietly. Got mid. Sort of the one level lead in both jungle, mid, and hunter that makes the difference. Can you close that gap? A kill on a Cyclone spin sure would help. No Aegis, no chance, and Lasbra finally deals with this pet.
So you get the tier 1 tower on left, you almost take the tier 2. Barrett's got to be careful.
Layers needs the shield from Aurora, but look at the Bolter, it's running in immediately behind the Tartarus Titans. Venenu transforms into the Nike and sends a Sentinel of Zeus right beneath the tier 2 tower as Haddix is there running down Layers. Susano, no chance to live. You can say the same for the tier 2 tower. Benji immediately jumps back in. Big Cataclysm from Aurora might send this fight right on back. Barracuda survives by the skin of his teeth. And it looks like Benji will do so as well. It's a couple towers and a couple kills for the Bulls.
That Aussie passive sweating with how much work. I mean, Barra barely gets out of there. Now he's going to be feeling a little bit better. His health bar is still in the red, just ticked over to yellow.
There's a couple of kills. Able to carve out a nice 2.5, nearly 3,000 gold lead in both gold and XP. XP still matters. A couple of the players on the Bolts outside of Awesome Jake yet to reach level 20. So nice and ahead are the Olympus Bolts at this point. First Fury of the game, that was gold. Win over to the Tartarus Titans. Now Primal has spawned. Barracuda doing a whole lot of damage to it, but it has been dropped. Benji has found the back line, and it's a perfect target. Barracuda effectively kiting backwards, immediately pulled back in by Layers, and Layers deletes the 80 carry for the Olympus Bolts, but bye-bye health bars. The Olympus Bolts chasing down Layers, chasing down Cyclone Spin. It's a double for Haddix.
I mean, that's exactly the trade you want. Now Paul's in trouble.
Paul walled on off, and here comes a bat out of hell from Lasbra. Lasbra will notch one on the Paul. Massive Cataclysm from Aurora, but he's looking around with nobody else at his side. It's a double-double for the Olympus Bolts. 2 for Haddix, 2 for Laz. Benji's the 5th, but he might make it out.
Paul was trying his best to put on some Shadow Q impersonations there, but that Aphrodite just can't juke that much. There's too many things being thrown at you. A great wall, once again, from Jake. And the only downside is you technically don't have Bear here, but look at the ward coverage. This has actually been very important. Bolts had vision over on the left-hand side. They knew what was going on. You get a beautiful 1-for-4 trade with a lot of great control from your frontliners, but they also had vision over on the right-hand side in terms of control. You can hold this for 5 seconds for Barra easily.
Benji will make things interesting for him. He still has Sentinel of Zeus, still has the jump in, still has the ability to steal this away, and you might need to if you're Benji. Sentinel of Zeus gets used. Fire Giant delayed. Barracuda is alive here, but Benji, ever so pesky, pinned back by the Pyro, and Haddix does so much work there in keeping Benji at bay. Benji will be unsuccessful in his steal. The Olympus Bolts complete their destiny after that team fight.
And the Titans chasing down 2 over here. Okay, yeah, the backs are coming through. If I'm Barra, Haddix, and Jake, I am ecstatic seeing that there's 4 people on the other side of the map. You are more than happy to not only knock those towers down, if they didn't back right then, if they go for a fight, that's a Phoenix for free. Luckily, Titans do fall back. But now that it's virtually swapped, yeah, so you have to run to the left side. Lasbra and Vin are just such a dual threat. Plus, they have minions on the left.
Minute and a half on the FG buff. 15 seconds on Layers is respawn. Lasbra thankful to still have that bat out of hell because he has to use it there. Aurora with a decent knock-up onto Barracuda, onto Jake, onto Haddix. 3 versus 2 on the right side of the map. Aphrodite and Bakasura kind of flexing back and forth between left and right, but a wave pushed out on left will allow the Tartarus Titans to group up a little bit more so over here on the right side of the map. So there's one.
Phoenixes are exposed. If you push up a wave, it's going to be able to find home.
Oh, the 1v1 between the assassins. So Venenu is here to provide a little bit of extra help, but that is big. Lasbra on a rampage on the Kamazats, and it is Cyclone Spin who goes down this time. Oh, Layers evaporates, and Venenu picks up a big kill. Layers down for 55, Cyclone down for 45. The Olympus Bolts in a 5v3, chasing down the Tartarus Titans. Paul gonna get run down by Haddix here. Nice knock up on the back line. A double freeze from awesome Jake, and Venenu finally shows us the second Cthulhu. And the Olympus Bolts score. Their eyes are on the mid-Phoenix. Their eyes are on the game.
I mean, this is such a solid state to go in. You've got 30 seconds left to work with. The biggest worry you have is maybe Paul, and that's not enough to stop you. He doesn't have the damage for it.
We will take a quick, deep breath when it feels like...
Welcome back, Smite fans. Deepest apologies for the technical difficulties. Obviously, we are all pretty frustrated with how things have been going, but unfortunately, we will not be able to bring you the end of Game 1 versus the Bolts and the Tartarus Titans, but I do have some good news, and that's it ended exactly as we all expected. Right after we had our little hiccup there, the Bolts simply walked into the Titan room and ended the game. I asked them what happened in their own words, and I think I got a couple of different accounts of what happened. Lasbra got a pentakill. Haddix also got a pentakill. Both Haddix and Venenu claimed they got the last on the Titan, and Barracuda said, and I quote, "I was dead." Interesting that the Titans have left this pick now for Cyclone Spin. He's played Set and Bakasura recently, and he goes back to this Bakasura. Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm surprised.
Yeah, look, I tried pretty hard to defend Bakasura in the last game. It didn't do poorly in lane by any means, but it didn't impress inside of the team fight phase. This time around, he does have some decent targets. You already highlighted Chernobog has a dash, Tiamat has a dash. Tiamat's actually doubling as her transform. Regurgitate can be able to stop those, as will Ares' chains, but I don't love Bakasura's odds in a 1v1 up against Erlang Shen inside the jungle in these late game team fights, which means that who is he really trying to 1v1? Probably this Chernobog who could just head up into the air pretty quickly and just get himself out of dodge. I think the Tartarus Titans have shown that they don't love playing with hunters, but there's a reason everybody else in the league does.
Up to spawn. Aurora takes a lot of damage here, and so it's going to be Lasbra versus Paul over by the red buff, but Lasbra hasn't been farming for the last little bit of time. Layers up and over the wall, and Lasbra takes a questionable fight. First blood to the Titans.
Yeah, that's just aggressive positioning getting punished the way that it should be, right? Layers and Paul collapse in, Layers with a good rotation to make sure that they catch up to Lasbra.
Chance, I was going to say to get beneath this tier 1 tower, chooses to go to the right and then bounce back underneath the mid lane here. But the Ymir versus the Sylvanas score, I think, could provide some differences here in this game, and we're not going to get the chance to talk about it because Lasbra jumped on yet again, healing just on the other side. So Lasbra back to full HP. Haddix is gone big here, and the Tartarus Titans retreating. Here comes Farah from the left side of the map, and my God, the damage huge. The Olympus Bolts running down the Titans. It's a long-winded jungle fight here, but Venenu finally notches a kill.
And Layers has no mana to work with. Nobody else is following Venenu. They've all gone to the other side of the jungle. Look, if they had the follow-up, I think they could have gotten another kill there potentially on the Layers.
Think next to Paul. The wall kind of blocked me out there. At any rate, what's important is that the beads are now gone on the Zhonghui. Tartarus Titans not worried about it though, Goremizer. Gold Fury started up for the Titans. What's the rotation from the Bolts look like? To the right side of the map. They're going to get the Pyromancer, and it looks like a quiet, uncontested Gold Fury for one side, And then a Pyromancer with a very low Lasbra for the other.
This is a primal. That meant very little compared to what this could do in terms of pressure.
Lasbra needs the heal here. It is a small heal. Gets the shielding as well. He's playing with thin margins, but able to get the Pyromancer nonetheless. And I think that's a pretty obvious reaction here. Lasbra uses his ult. We're not trying to fight for the Oni Fury. Jake didn't get the memo. He'll have to use the sprint. Cyclone Spin tosses out the slow, and awesome Jake jumped on. And so it is Oni Fury plus kill and trade for Pyromancer.
Bakasura minions are their own version of a wall, and right there we saw it block off Jake and stop him from getting anything done. This has been a great last 5 minutes from the Titans, really using their strengths to their level. But now you're starting to see, I think, some of the fight back. There hasn't been a big grouping from the Bolts. They've always been scattered. And right odds for the Olympus Bolts.
That's a decent bit of damage connecting onto Barracuda. Jake uses ultimate here in mid. Benji shrugs it off. Paul gladly takes the knock-up. The Sylvanas score did something we raised a conversation about earlier on in the game. Has felt less impactful than the Ymir did. Benji around the backside of Haddix and Venenu. Barracuda's got his ult, so watch out for the Chernobog rotating into this fight. Underneath the mid lane tier 1 tower goes Barra. Ben with the Aegis stays alive. Nice taunt in, but Layers jumps on over it. Venenu survives. Barracuda turns around the kill, and now Haddix can press down on the gas pedal. A nice pull in from Awesome Jake. Puts Benji right back into the fray. This could be big from Aurora, but it only gets the Sylvanas pulled back in.
And now you get to see the damage numbers. Barra finished off the win team, and they're going back in.
Lasbra right back in. Oh, the knockup's big. On to 2 members of the Titans. Barracuda, full HP, chasing down the Titans. Cyclone Spin, able to turn it around, though. Haddix will try to lock in a couple underneath the tier 1 tower. Go the Titans. It's a 2-for-1 trade. But the Olympus Bolts get a tower in tow.
And honestly, they might be able to, should be able to push this a little further. They've got enough tanks, enough damage to cause a little bit of trouble. You can see just off the mark, Benji can't really get as aggressive as he wants. There's some absorbs. No spectral armors online. Barra has the Wind Demon, and his damage makes a huge difference. Plus, let's throw it out there. Some of the most insane jukes between Lasbra, Vin, and Barra.
Here in this game. That is not going to slow down the Bolts.
What a pull!
On the Layers. Goodbye, Kamazot's Aurora. Going to get taunted right back through as well. Too much CC.
He's dead.
And the chains will not pull today. Benji left running. And what a call by the Bolts to catch the Titans by surprise.
I mean, such a good pick. Look, that's mirror to game number 1. Exactly what helps the Bolts win that, even without a Fire Giant, right? It's just getting these picks in the jungle, and it's good showcase, once again, when beads are down, what this Sylvanas can do. A great pull, and the damage numbers that they're able to put out. Benji might just get caught out here. Luckily, it's, Nike still has ult, is able to disengage. But I think they're showcasing a lot of the strengths. I was going to highlight the Bolts' defense. I was going to say, you know what? I've been controlling fights around their own tier 2 on the Titans side and making sure that they feel awkward. I mean, Benji and Cyclone is something to worry about, but this is just a great set of plays from the Bolts to really limit this Fire Giant.
You know what they say about a good defense score, or the best defense? A good offense. And that's what the Olympus Bolts bring out here. Nice pull from Jake. Okay, Cthulhu in front of me. I want to use my ultimate in exchange for his ultimate. Lasbra wishes he had his ultimate still. Bat out of hell, swoops through, and Layers makes no mistake about it this time. Venenu might be caught out here as well, but a rotation in from the rest of the Olympus Bolts could return a kill. Onto Aurora, but the Ares will live on. Venenu knocks himself backwards. Benji lurches himself forward, and the Tartarus Titans able to find a couple of kills. Great knockup from Awesome Jake, but Barracuda's got a kite. Back into the Titan room, pull onto Cyclone Spin. Keeps things interesting.
And they do still get that tier 2, and they have some pressure, but without Cyclone Spin, yeah, I don't know that you want to put any pressure. I actually like this. Keep going. Haddix is going to be able to create a zone. Jake should be able to set this up. Fight back.
All eyes got to be on Barra. Maybe they should be on Jake. It's a pull onto Benji. Barracuda make us raise our up.
Just Benji.
And it is a very specific matchup there, though, where Benji's the one on Barra. Those crits won't hit, but if Barra continues scrapping out a couple members of the Titans, those crits will still have full force with the body blocks from Haddix. Benji takes a lot more damage there. Layers, what are you doing, my friend? You blink in, and then you immediately have to bat out of hell. Right on out. Aurora holds onto his ultimate this time, but descending into madness is Haddix. Barracuda lets his ult go. Might transfer into the backline of this fight. He is in the backline fighting off with Benji. Spectral armor, no problem. Cyclone Spin jumps away. Haddix puts him in the dirt, but it's a turnaround kill from Paul.
I mean, look at this. Paul is able to get so much damage done, but Barra's got so much health.
Oh, massive stun from Paul, but is it enough for the time? No, the Olympus Bolts They've got enough health and sustain to turn the fight around.
Layers goes from no health to full health. Aurora is going to try to stay alive here, but this feels like it's just doom and gloom.
Oh, Aurora will throw out the flames, but Barracuda will put him right on out, killing.
And despite the fact that Lasber's 1-4-6, and I'm going to go ahead and call it out, has not had a very stellar game on this Erlong ship. Has had really good pins, has had some really good taunts.
Benji jumps onto Venenu here. Fire Giant is low here.
Y'all gotta be careful.
Benji is still full HP. Layers bad out of hell. Benji, no, can't get it done, but Layers
They get Vin.
will snag a kill onto Venenu. Lasbra taunts through onto Benji.
Oh, what a kill.
Drops Layers in return. Benji pulled right back through by Awesome Jake. Cyclone Spin in on the respawn as well. So it's a 1-for-1 trade, but FG for the Bolts gives a little bit. Still relatively low on the damage charts. We've seen this trade before though, Core, but this time Haddock's happy to use his ultimate where he's at because he has separated out this fight. Benji immediately has to leap away. The rest of the Bolts gathering up, surging forward down the left side of the map.
And I love this because it forces so much away from them. You get the Sentinel of Zeus and a Rorzal. Yeah, Benji doesn't have his, but look how low Paul is.
Oh my god! Oh, Gore, he's dead, he's gone! Layers is able to turn things around though, make it a 1-for-1 trade. Venenu sends some damage right back towards Aurora. You have to kite backwards now. If you're the Olympus Bolts, the Phoenix is gone. My god, that died fast. The Olympus Bolts got what they came for.
Barra did his one job, which was, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to kill the bird, and I'm going to get the hell out. I need to stay alive, and that is exactly what he does. They trade Paul for Lasbra. At this stage of the game, feels worthwhile. Again, Lasbra at 2-5, you get exactly what you need out of him, and then you can utilize everything else that your team has available. They've got minions pushed up here as well in mid. Barra's alive, sustain is available for them, so they're not even lacking too much in health. The most they have to worry about is going to be Cyclone Spin. That ult just came back up, and look at his position. He's going for the backline.
Yep, Cyclone Spin not far away from Lasbra.
And he's got
on
crit.
The damage charge. He's found Barracuda, who has the beads, also has the Aegis, but he's also got a wall that is at his disposal. Haddock's halfway back to his ultimate, so you won't have that here. Cyclone Spin has got to walk away from the rest of this fight. So we'll calm down just for a moment as the Phoenix looked at yet again by the Olympus Bolts. Remember, the route back into this fight a lot longer for Lasbra while the respawn back through
into a wall. All of a sudden, Cyclone Spin is, you know, up the river, no paddle to work with.
Whoa.
And all of a sudden, Mike gets caught out in the jungle.
Up the river to say the absolute least here. Equalizer. Cyclone Spin walked down.
Cyclone Spin. And yet you can't really do it. You can only go for the Pyromancer or the FG, although a good pull. I mean, Jake's setting up beautifully. If they can kill off Aurora or kill off Benji here, that's a huge stagger kill for them, especially now that I see Layers joining the fray. There's a golden opportunity for the Bucks.
Are you going to push this advantage a little bit faster because Cyclone Spin is only 10 seconds away from respawning. Pyromancer there for the Bolts. Fire Giant grouped up on by a couple members of the Bolts. No surprise that Haddox is at the forefront of the conversation as the enhanced Fire Giant has begun. Pull is out from Aurora onto Haddox, who gladly takes the pull this time. Haddox didn't have a choice. His ultimate is still down. Benji walking forward into a pit of hellfire as he's forced into the Sentinel of Zeus and then the leap away. Will keep the Nike alive. Watch out for Layers, though. He's rounding this right-hand side.
Haddox almost has his ult back, though, so yes, he's low, but this is actually a good position for the Cthulhu. This could be a turnaround for the Bolts.
Could be a bait. Paul has committed onto Haddox, but Haddox has gone big here. But watch out, Layers is looking at the backline. He's walked right on in to the backline of the Olympus Bolts. Layers has gotten finally a kill onto Lasbra. Haddox whittled away. He's low. He's got to send range damage out towards the Tartarus Titans. It's a fantastic looking fight for the Chaos team, who's been behind for the last 10 minutes of this game and suddenly find a big kill.
Sustain is going to be the name of the game, though. They still have Sylvanas. They still have capabilities to get back in this fight. And everyone's just a little low on the Titans. They started to heal up. This is a good chance for the Bolts to re-engage.
Where did Haddox come from? Blink is the answer. How the Olympus Bolts are fighting at an odd number disadvantage. Benji gets the first. Barracuda's on Rampage, and he's got to go huge. He's half HP. And is able to get one onto Layers, and that is a massive loss. Aurora, Benji, Paul, the health bars.
Cyclone just
low here. It's a 3v3. Cyclone back to base. Sentinel of Zeus back up. Barracuda knocked against the wall by Benji. And Benji's got enough damage to chase this down, but the Aegis will buy Barracuda a little bit of time. Kills traded out on either side. Meyer from Haddox pulls things out. Aurora, no good with his ultimate here. Venenu has enough damage to turn this around. Haddox burns on down, then jumps forward. A double kill for the Tiamat. 3 alive across the map, 2 for the Titans, 1 for the Bolts.
Wild fight. I don't think so far. The question is whether or not Cyclone's will be the difference maker.
Hence Fire Giant starts.
Oh no, they left it low.
Quickly, Fire Giant reset by the Tartarus Titans, but it's okay. The Bolts not looking at it, but they are. The Bolts are now looking at it. Benji waiting over the wall. Haddock separating out the fight. Fire Giant goes to the Bolts, but there's a sweep back through from Layers. Taunt is out from Lasbra. Sustain on the other side will keep the year-long Shen in the fray, but Benji jumps in. Haddock zoning out the back line of this fight. Cyclone Spin.
What a pull.
Smells Barracuda around the corner, searching for the Chernobog, the most important member of the Olympus Bolts you can get, but Haddock is the one on the menu, pulled in by Aurora, taken down, and now it's time for the Bolts to lead.
Barra has to be careful here, just shy of hitting Layers with a lot of those. Cyclone's gonna jump in!
Oh my god, he's got huge damage on Barra, who immediately turns it back around. Have you overextended if your Cyclone Spin? Circle A if the answer is yes, and A is filled on in here. The Olympus Bolts make them pay, but it's a pullback through from Awesome Jake. Benji brought right back into the fray.
Sustain, again, watch the healing, watch Jake. He's the reason they can keep this fight going. Barra's full health, he's got damage.
Oh my god, these guys
what a pull!
Not stop, massive pull, big knockup from Awesome Jake. Aurora whittled on away, the
what
roots there on the other side. Double kill from Barracuda. John Salter, my man's going big. And the Tartarus Titans only have 2 alive.
Layers is just trying to stay alive at this point. That is a tall order with the Bolts looking for you. Bat out of hell can only get you so far. And no one's
huge.
low.
This is huge. The death timer's massively long here. Layers, the best you can do is buy some time. Give your teammates a chance to respawn a little bit quicker into this game. The Olympus Bolts have 4 members, all with FG. Benji might try to split this one out, but the Olympus Bolts eyeing the base.
I mean, this is a great play for them. Admittedly, running down right, you're gonna...
Cyclone Spin nearly killed Barracuda, a game of inches on that last tower dive. What you can't do here if you're Benji or Cyclone Spin is die. Oh, it's a huge taunt from Lasbra. He's been quiet so far this game, but that taunt might just end things. Benji rooted in place, and the Bolts have no eyes for the Titan room. They will take the right side. Phoenix, important Cyclone Spin eyeing a solo Phoenix here. We'll go for the Phoenix in the mid lane. The Olympus Bolts might press down on the gas just a little bit quicker here. Cyclone Spin will easily get this Phoenix. He'll take some damage, but the Olympus Bolts have a chance now to fight in a lopsided 4v5 on the left side of the map. Phoenix melts down Aurora with the ultimate. Pulls one back. Oh, Lasbra's gone back to base. Cyclone Spin will complete his back.
No.
So now it's a 5v4 over here on the left side of the map. The Olympus Bolts get the Phoenix, but they're being chased down by the Titans.
They've got 2 burned down, but Benji, this is a great opportunity, but he's taking so much damage. Layers can't get in here. Nobody can get in here.
His time's out of his own. And suddenly it's like a 2-man swing on either side of things. Enhanced Fire Giant sprouts forth from the earth. Cyclone Spin and Layers alone on the left side of the map. Lasbra's kind of playing separator here, so it's a 4 versus 3, a rare 4v3 around the Enhanced Fire Giant, which is brought low here. Aurora walking in towards the Olympus Bolts. Titans under attack here by the fire minions. 2 members of the Tartarus.
They're going
Titans
for the win.
going into the base of the Olympus Bolts. They are eyeing
Look
the
at
end.
Lasbra.
Can you
Look
stop
at Barra.
the backs? If you're the Tartarus Titans, Lasbra is here. Cyclone Spin and Layers. They get their bluff called. Layers jumps on out over the wall. Lasbra taking a lot of damage here. Oh, big brute on the other side of this fight from Awesome Jake. Haddock goes big. 4 versus 4 on the right. Layers and Lasbra doing it out, and Lasbra strikes Pater on the left side of the map. Big swing here in this game.
Most important kill for the Bolts just happened. Lasbra got the kill that matters for them. Makes it a 4v5. Barra backs alongside his jungler and uses his ult to get back in here. They save the Titan. They stop a really smart call from the Titans, and now they put themselves in position at least to get another Fire Giant in their favor. This is going to be
Benji's
another EFG, and Benji's here.
Benji is in between the 4 members of the Olympus Bolts. Enhanced Fire Giant burning away quickly. Pull in onto Aurora.
Oh my god, the damage.
From Benenu. That's on out. Bye-bye, Aurora. Says Barracuda's got his 9th kill of the game. Awesome Jake low, but he will walk right into the forefront of this fight.
He's alive?
Saves his support's life. Benji jumps up and over, finally gets the kill onto Awesome Jake, but the Olympus Bolts will gladly take this trade. Taunt through from Lasbra. This game, sunsetting. Lasbra on a killing spree. The Olympus Bolts will put down the Titans.
They've got Layers back. Look, this is rare. He's got enough damage. They're low on the side. Oh, they've got fire minions.
It's game over. The
Never
Olympus
mind.
Bolts might have won this one anyway, but the fight goes in their favor, and this is a 2-0 for the Olympus Bolts.
That's number 8 for the minions, Dave. That is, this year we have seen 8 of those.